So the battery's fully charged and I've got my notes down here because this video is going to be a bit different and maybe a bit longer than usual. Connie Glynn, who you may know as Nuderella, did a video last week about the death of the YouTube. I found it really interesting, and her argument kind of was that the personality YouTuber is dead because nobody will watch your content just for your personality anymore. So that's why Connie is no longer Nuderella. Nuderella was her kind of YouTube personality. It's how she was on YouTube. It was a hyper-realised version of herself. And a lot of people have actually changed the names of their channels recently. They don't necessarily have changed their kind of content or who they are. So for example, Lena Norms has changed her channel from Just Kiss My Frog to just her name, and Carrie Hope Fletcher has changed from Way Past My Bedtime to just Carrie Hope Fletcher. Now neither of those were personalities, but you get the idea. The kind of YouTube persona has gone. It's becoming much more you are on YouTube, rather than here's a channel on YouTube and you happen to be in it. Now to summarise the kind of things that Connie was saying in her video, 5 years ago, maybe even longer than that, the term YouTuber didn't really exist. YouTube existed, it's way over 10 years old now, but there was no concept of somebody being a YouTuber. And there's lots of reasons for this. Mostly it was that people couldn't make money out of the platform, they were doing it for fun. It was amateurish, so it was something you did in your spare time. So it couldn't be your job, it couldn't be your occupation, therefore you didn't really need a title for it. I'm not really a YouTuber, I'm a YouTuber in kind, and I do it regularly, so it makes me more of a YouTuber than somebody who only puts out one video a year. But I'm not a YouTuber, I'm a developer. That is my full-time job. And of course, not so long ago, it was new, it was a novelty. So this term YouTuber was born about 6 years ago, somewhere around there, where people actually started to make some money, could potentially go full-time, and in the last 4 or 5 years, a lot of people have managed to go full-time, although still a tiny proportion of the people that actually upload to YouTube. Indeed, if you think about it, even the people I watch, only maybe a third of them are full-time YouTubers. Of the other 2/3, there are a lot of very small channels, the same as mine, you know, between 0 and 1,000 subscribers. Then you've got the medium-sized channels who do a lot of kind of good content, and they are from say 1,000 to 100,000 subscribers. But those medium-sized YouTubers still don't make any kind of money that they could quit their job and do it full-time on. It's just a nice bit of extra money in addition to their full-time job. And once you get to around about 100,000 subscribers, this isn't a rule, it's a kind of like a ballpark, but you can at least have the confidence to survive on that amount of money. So you might go down to 2 or 3 days a week at your job, for example, and spend the other 4 or 5 days doing YouTube. Of course, it isn't quite that simple, because you could have 1 million subscribers but only 5 people actually watch your videos, in which case you don't make any money at all. And the other problem is that your channels could just die at any moment. And this is potentially what Connie was getting at. The way that people watch YouTube is changing. It has been changing for a couple of years. Vlogs are kind of on the way down. They're becoming less and less popular. Unless you are somebody like Casey Neistat, who has a fantastic production team, and also his camera work is excellent, and he actually has some interesting things. Unless you're that kind of person, then you're not going to start doing vlogs today and be a multi-million pound YouTuber in 5 years' time. That's because there's been no real innovation in how vlogs work. You don't have to know anything, all you have to do is film your life. Now if you're half decent at that, then you'll get some views. But nobody's life is interesting enough, especially if you aren't a millionaire already and can afford to do really fancy things. Nobody's life is interesting enough for you to have millions of followers. Unless you are, of course, Casey Neistat or somebody like that. But you might think, well hang on, there are some vlog channels which are growing, and yes there are. But they are not your traditional vlog channels. They incorporate other things into their vlogs. It isn't about, oh I'm going out to the park today and I'm going to go skateboarding and this is going to be really interesting. Yeah, But everybody can do that. Everybody does do that. The people whose vlogging channels are growing are ones that incorporate other things into it. So, for example, Rose and Rosie. Yes, it is vlogs about their lives, but it's really funny. They're not vloggers, they're comedians. Or perhaps the vlog has educational content in, and rather than being a diary about somebody's life, maybe it's going to interesting places and explaining things whilst you're there which are connected to it. So it's not about your life, it's almost like a documentary. Just a documentary with you explaining things whilst you're travelling and also talking about your life. So the reason why they're watching you is because, yeah, you're the person fronting it and you're letting people into your life, but the reason why they're watching is to find out things. Or another way that vlog channels are growing is when they're like behind the scenes content. So for example, if somebody's got a main channel which is a show of some description, then their behind the scenes content could be vlog style content. But behind the scenes content is intrinsically interesting. So I hope you can see here that it is no longer about personality. So traditional vlogs was you're an interesting person. Now it's more I've got some interesting content and also I'm an interesting person. Being just an interesting person is not enough anymore. Why? Because it's been done. If you want to watch interesting people, there are loads of them on YouTube, and there are loads of old content on YouTube, which of course you can still go and watch. It's got to do something else than just be an interesting person. Just being interesting isn't innovative. It's the same. And if it's the same, people switch off. So for me, the platform is becoming much more content driven. I'm sure if I was just stood in my room telling you about my day every single day, then you'd switch off. Not least because it'd be like, oh, I went to work today and I did some programming and I came home and I watched YouTube videos. Who cares? Although that might be interesting if I then explain stuff about programming, and you get my point, yeah? So new creators now have completely different goals to new creators did 5-6 years ago on YouTube and on other platforms. People now think that they'll go from 0 to 1 million subscribers and it will be a full-time career for them. They're not necessarily just hoping, they're expecting it. But on the flip side of that, there has been a lot of threats to YouTubers recently, such as the apocalypse, as it was called, competition from a lot more creators on the platform, and burnout, where you feel you just can't keep up the amount of content you need to be relevant. And whilst these threats are new to YouTubers, they're not new to the media and not new to industry. As far as the media is concerned, they've been around since ITV came about in the UK. The BBC had a monopoly on television until then, and they could put out whatever they like and anybody with a television set would watch it. But once ITV came about, it improved the quality of the BBC shows and over time the quality of ITV shows as they had to compete against each other. And then with the advent of cable and satellite and digital television, the traditional television channels have had to innovate and have new ideas and new Saturday night shows and new flagship shows, or reinvent old flagship shows. That's all Strictly Come Dancing is, by the way. Strictly started this week. It's an old format called Come Dancing, which used to be, I think, on a Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon. It was before my time, but this is what I understand. Now it's a multi-million pound money spinner for the BBC because they've sold it all around the world. So that's what YouTubers need to do. They need to reinvent the format. And this is what's happening. It's what's happening without people realising it. So the vlogging format, as I've said before, is becoming much more content driven. It's changed to survive. It used to be that to be successful on YouTube, you needed a personality and make regular content and be authentic. And of course, some luck. Now you need all those things, including a bit more luck and actual content. And if you're new on the platform, don't go in thinking that in 5 years' time you're going to be really famous. I have a lot of small YouTuber friends. I'm the social media manager, by the way, of the London Small YouTubers and the Small YouTubers organisation. And the ones that stick around, so we have meetups often, right? And the ones that stick around are those that aren't there because they think they're going to be mega famous and make a massive career out of it. They're there because they're genuine, because they love making videos. They don't think they're going to be the next Casey Neistat or the next Zoella. They want to be, they would aim to be, and they would be over the moon if they were. But they're realists. They're doing it for the fun. And that's great, because the only way that you're going to build a community is if you genuinely enjoy making videos. I certainly do, so that's why I'm going to continue making videos on YouTube. And I don't care if 1 person or 1 billion people watch. It's just something that I enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then do give it a thumbs up. You can do that just down below. I make videos every single week, which means you should subscribe so you don't miss a thing. And I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.